Ladies and gentlemen, we are live with the Mario Kart Wii World Cup Finals 2026. Game's been out for 18 years. The stage has never been bigger, the lights have never been brighter, and the players have never been more cracked. And it's time for an ultimate test between these two titans. This is Torp covering this best of five series. I've got Zesty with me. It's going to be a great one.
Yeah, man. I mean, you summed it up perfectly. We are gonna see the highest level of gameplay we've ever seen in this game. The teams that we have here, I think at the start of the tournament, you would have bet on these two teams making it, and they made it here in relatively unscathed fashion. We're gonna talk about these lineups. I am so excited to cast this with you, Torp.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's been 3 years since you had one of these, and England is
Yep.
still on top. They won the previous one in 2023. It was a close 2-1 win over United States South that time. Lineup is a little different from last time. They've got Zach and Xander and Jazz as well, returning players, veterans at this point, gonna be very comfortable. They know, they know what it's like to play on this stage and win it. Rosen wasn't quite, at the very top back then, but has since made insane strides to get up there, as well as Ops, who's the new young talent on the team, who will round them out, and he's been on a tear lately as well. So, no reason to believe that England can't go back to back here. What do you think?
Yeah, I think last World Cup, England were, in my opinion, the clear favorites in that finals matchup against US South. US South is like a Cinderella story, if you will, at least to beat US North in the semis, I believe. But this time, I think they're the underdogs here because that US North team that we're gonna get into is like 10, like 4 top 10 players. I think debatably you could say that about England. Probably Ops doesn't make the cut, not this early into his Mario Kart Wii career, I suppose. But yeah, I think Xander is probably a little bit worse than he was a few years ago. If you guys don't know, he's been dealing with some wrist injuries, which makes it so he can't like play that much. So even going into this best of five, if it goes to 5 matches, I actually don't know if he's going to be able to thug it out for his team. So they want to try and finish this quick. And yeah, I think that's the biggest concern. Xander's someone who I've always, like, for the last 5, 6 years, I've said he's the best player in the game. And I can't really say that anymore because I think those problems are too big for him to still be the number one or the top dog here. But obviously still probably in the top 3, top 5. So if that drop off is enough for his team to lose, then I think we're gonna see it here because this is a matchup where even a player like Xander could get exposed.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be high level. Everyone's going to have to bring their A game. You don't want anything holding you back because just look at this US North lineup. I mean, this is a concoction of some beasts all around. We've got Frozen and Mura, the JX duo, one of the best duos to ever do it. Mura, obviously the best Daisy we've ever seen. Frozen, one of the best, in-game leaders, one of the most creative, flashy players. You guys already know who he is probably if you're tuning in watching this. And then Brody and Fresh, recent D1 winners, with Lover's Posture, both insanely good individually. There's not a single weak spot in this lineup.
Yeah, I think the one thing you could say about this team is they've already dropped 2 matches, one to Canada, one to Scandinavia. However, both matches they dropped did not have this lineup. So against Scandinavia, they lost a match by 2 points, I believe, and in that match, Kaizo was bagging, and he instantly got subbed right after that match. He also, I think, got a -20 in that match, so it was a pretty obvious swap to go right back to Ethan. And then in the match against Canada, Fresh wasn't playing, it was actually Ornan. And once Fresh came in, I don't really want to talk about it anymore, but yeah, he came in and I think we lost by 300 in the last 2 wars, so the Fresh difference is real. And yeah, this team is one of the best combinations, or the best 5 lineup we may ever see, like, in a World Cup. These guys are insane. The one player, maybe, if you want to highlight some sort of weak point, it might be Mura. Mura, for me, like, if you were to make a top 10 of the best war players, he is a player who may not make that list. I think Brody, Fresh, and Frozen are still in there. Mura's one who's probably in that 8 to 12 range. So if there's someone to target, like it's crazy to say the best Daisy player of all time is someone to target here, but I don't think he would like he would say that he's at the peak of his powers. So like with the other players, you could probably still say that even with Frozen, especially Brody and Fresh, I think are at the top of their game. So if there's someone, it's Mura, but I think Mura has a really good track record in grand finals. So
I was gonna
yeah,
say,
I really don't
yeah,
know who you're gonna like target here.
I've never seen Mura like underperform in like an important match, even
Yeah,
if he's not like in his peak right now, which maybe you could argue was like 2 years ago, which really not that long. I have total faith in this team to bring their A game, and they've done it in the past with different lineups. We see at the bottom. So in 2020, U.S. East actually won the World Cup um, before they changed the divide into North and South. 2021, U.S. North, I believe, won the World Cup, and then 2023, they got knocked out in the semifinals, like you said, to U.S. South, which was a bit of an upset. And now they're coming back, and they've been winning a lot this World Cup. And not only have they been winning like throughout the group stage, but the matches that they've won have been huge margins, like 80 plus points, like 100 points, and not to like random run-of-the-mill teams. Like they're destroying some of the top seeds in the tournament up to this point. And while they have dropped a couple, those games have been really close, like slim margin losses, and then they've turned it right around and just dominated every other match. So these guys know how to win. It's gonna be tough for England today. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, I've experienced the domination
Right, very
firsthand. That
recently.
match 2 and match 3, I think were like two of the most unwinnable wars I've ever played. Like there were no solutions for us. Even when we pulled shocks, it's just like they played so strong. Fresh and Brody, just they're always up there. Like you're always gonna have one of Brody, Murrah, Fresh up there, and Frozen is just gonna make the right play most of the time. I think again, that's another thing we could talk about. Frozen is so important in this series. If he does too much, and I feel like he has a tendency to kind of do like quote unquote too much, this is a matchup where he can get exposed for it. I always say with Frozen, his playstyle is very good because he plays with such good players around him. But at the same time, if his teammates aren't playing that well and he's still trying to make those Frozen type plays, it may they may get caught out here. This is probably the only team where the opposition could actually capitalize on Frozen mistakes, because I feel like even if he makes a mistake, his teammates are always up there and he can just get himself back into the race because he's Frozen. In this matchup, maybe that may not be the case.
Right, and I think one edge that England will have this match will be bagging with Jazz going back for them. He's someone that has been D1 for pretty much as long as I can remember. He's been playing on the best teams for a long time, so much D1 experience, insanely good bagger. And Ethan's no slouch. He's been good playing with AI and some other teams lately, but I don't know if I would put him on par with Jazz yet.
Yeah, I think it's one of those classic interactions, like the experience versus the new guy with insane amount of reps. I actually have the opposite feeling. I think Ethan is gonna get the better of Jazz here. Last World Cup, from what I remember, Jazz actually got subbed out, and then Fear came in and was the MVP and kind of took them home. So I don't expect that to happen again. I think Seed is ready if needed, but I think Jazz will play out this best of 5. I do think Ethan is the better bagger now. He may be the best bagger in the game right now. Like I'm very high on Ethan.
Well, that's interesting. I guess I'm behind on that. I mean, I was trying to throw England a bone, but it looks like they're going to have to drag themselves out of the mud as we're about ready to get started. So we have a best of 5, so it's first to 3 wars wins. We could be here a while. It's going to be, like you said, a battle of endurance. Can your hands hold up? Can your mind stay sharp for that long? It's not easy to do. I mean, it's hard enough to win one match, you know?
Yeah. My prediction before we start, I think England will get 1, but I just don't see them getting any more. I think this USA team is too strong, so I'm going 3-1 for USA.
That's what I was gonna say too. I guess we're predicting the same thing because this U.S. North team has shown cracks. Like you said, they've dropped a couple matches up to this point, but it's hard to imagine them um, losing outright. But we'll see. already some interactions here. We've got Xander holding it down in first for England at the time, and this track is all about whoever is running up in the front and whoever the first ones to take cut are. So England's goal right now is just to spread out the pack, give Xander that run, maybe that 1v1 up there that he wants.
Yeah, and I think with a matchup like this, there's so much respect for every player that you're gonna see Zach use megas in that fashion because he just wants to like get the upper hand no matter where. Like with single reds or single greens, let's try and hit the other team. But early on, this is a great start for England. Xander was able to fend off whoever was behind him, and now a TC in 4. This is looking pretty bad for USA.
Yeah, Rosen was the first cut taker, and Frozen, all alone pulling that TC. Nothing you can do there. Really unfortunate start for him. But US actually is going to use a shock to sort of cancel it and also dodge up. They just don't want this pack to get too out of hand before it's too late. And that could also be a sign that Ethan is 10th, and they're looking to pull another one, which this team does a lot. I've casted some of their matches before, and they love going for these two-shock races.
Yeah. I don't know, like, so it's not a great start here for England or for USA. I was
Yeah, it doesn't
expecting,
look like that shock did very much.
and just to be clear, who hosted this? I didn't actually catch who should be winning this race like from the beginning.
I don't know, but it was Xander in first the whole time, and nobody has caught
Yeah.
him since. I don't know what USA can do here. They might just have to do damage control at this point. Frozen's going for a miracle play. Green's going everywhere, and he's going to get past, actually. He might have lost a spot, but that could have been his teammate. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it looks like Zach's gonna get 7th, Murren 8th here. Great start for England. So this is what I wanted. I just didn't want US North to just run away with it. I think in their quarterfinals match they had a +100, like you were saying, and obviously in their semifinals they beat us by 150 and like 180. So yeah, I need a little bit of adversity here, England, to show something for the fans.
Yeah, a little lead for England is gonna be big for the confidence. Because if a team's been stomping other teams, and all of a sudden now they can't build a lead, then it could lead to them getting frustrated, or just realizing that it's going to be a lot harder than what they've faced before. And that is true. This is probably, I mean, I guess easily the hardest team they've had to play so far. And England are showing that they can do it right now. Clean top 2.
I think the big interaction there was Xander keeping first against Brody, lap 1. That was a matchup. I'm just a little uncertain about where Xander is in terms of his level right now, because it seems like every time I talk to him, every time I play with him or against him, it's like I know he's not at that level, and I feel like he needs to be at his best to have a chance or to take his team to victory. But that race kind of shows you, like, even if he's not at his best, he's still probably second best player, maybe still the best player in this room. Like, there's a real good opportunity for him to prove that.
Yeah, I mean, he's showing up. He's somebody that I think is really passionate about the World Cup. I mean, you know how people from England are with the Three Lions and all that. They care about their country, it seems like, and he's no exception, right? He shows up every time the World Cup rolls around. He's giving it his A game, and so far he's looking good, but it's still early.
And already it's Frozen in first here. I actually didn't catch exactly what happened there, but this is a pick that we see JX dominate in GSC, so having them just break in the top 4 here is not that surprising to me, but still pretty disappointing from an England point of view.
Yeah, starting top 2 on this track, you should be able to at least hold your spots up there. I mean, maybe one person will shroom past you or draft or something, but no green line players to be found at the moment. They're gonna have to figure something out here.
There's an early blue. That's like exactly what you need. The bad thing for England is Ethan is winning this bag battle, so it doesn't seem like at the moment they're gonna get that bailout shock that they may need.
Yeah, and you see fresh slagging. I mean, when your team's top
Car
4
hits,
and
wow.
you can schlag, yeah, they're just gonna keep expanding this league. England can't be making mistakes like that.
If we're gonna see a shock from England, it's got to be here. I feel like there's the mega. I don't think that's, yeah. There's no shock coming. So Ethan probably has it, or it's shockless.
Yeah. Frozen chaining streams together, taking the tight line anyway. Gonna get back into top 3 here. Really well done from him there.
Early top 3 or a late top 3 here. I think it's pretty unbreakable from this point. You need a Hail Mary bomb. You need a late shock. I don't think they're going to get either. Maybe even a bomb car hit. There's a late shock from Ethan. Fresh is
Fresh dodging
probably,
up.
yeah, this
Could
is
be
a
a top
great
4.
race. And this is on, like, surely this was a, I need to pay attention to the track picks, but England obviously picked that in top 2 and got instantly broken.
Yeah, I think Frozen like drafted up wide, but that still doesn't explain the disappearance of those England players up there.
Like, the race is over after 20 seconds. Like, without a shock, they're top 4. And Ethan was winning the bag battle, so that's very disappointing from England point of view. I'm sure there's some luck involved, like a lucky golden 6 from Brody or a golden 6 from Murrah, someone like that. But I don't know. I feel like there is like a good strategy with how to delegate the boxes so that they don't get, usually like that left box at the first set is open for a bottom spot, and I'm assuming Brody got that without stopping, without having to worry too much, and got a really good item, got up there.
And that's one of the things about US North is that, you know, you'll expect both teams to get lucky breaks here and there. That's just kind of the nature of the game, but when North gets those chances, they will not waste them. You can pretty much guarantee that if they have a race where they, you know, secure top spots, they have shock, they have a late dodge, they're going to be getting, you know, top 3, 5, top 4 pretty much every time. And that is what you have to do. You got to capitalize when you have the chance.
Yeah. And yeah, I think one thing that I always hear JX talk about is the snowball effect. That's a term that I feel like Jeff and Frozen always talk about, and we might be seeing it early here. The Moonview Highway top 4 to the Toads factory. This could spell disaster early, but I think, what do you think about Bill? Like, what team should be going for Bill in these positions?
I think that if you're England, you can't afford to have any runners really take themselves out of the race, right? Because now here's one person who already can never break the front spots unless you get a dodge and use it later. My theory is like you just send everyone forward, spam as many boxes as you can right away, and just get someone up there, right? Because he didn't pull Bill,
Yeah,
and his teammates are getting hit, and USA is still top 3 with no chance of Ops being able to help.
yeah, Frozen got taken out early, but this is actually probably good for him because the rest of his team was able to survive. Maybe not for much longer with these triple reds from Ops. And triple reds into a Mega, he just cannot get hit.
Yeah, but he
He's
still
really
needs to
the
do
only
some
hope.
damage, and the missed low is not good. You want to be able to pressure the other team out of there. And yeah, gonna be chaining for blues.
I'm surprised he didn't go to the right to get another box. Like, you need to
Xander actually
touch
got a
every
blue in
box.
4th there. Oh no!
Wow.
Ops with a shaky start here. He is the one runner in this room that you could say is a bit of a question mark.
There's a shock from Jazz. That's a huge pull.
Yeah, they needed that.
And a spam bill from Ops. Okay, we have a race here.
Yeah, England back in it. Looks like Rosen dodged as well into 1st, so like maybe 2 dodges plus the bill spam, and England have taken a hold of this race when it looked like it was going to be really rough for them.
Yeah. I don't think Bill was in play, so Jazz just pulled probably a 9er there, and probably one of the more impactful shocks you're going to see this entire series.
Yeah, I think Rosen got blued right at the start of the lap, so it might be USA back in like 1-3 or so.
He
There's a
spammed the
spam
blue.
blue. Oh no, it was England in top 2. Yeah, they were all up there after the shock. That was a huge turnaround, but another blue this race. Gonna give
Yeah,
USA
there
a good
goes Jan.
chance.
There
Both
goes
of them got hit.
Rosen. Wow. And he
So
might win
unfortunate.
here.
Frozen's going for
Another
1st.
shot.
Great shroom drop for him. He's gonna grow 1st. He might be able to beat Zach off of
He
this. It
should
might
win
come down to the
here.
low trick.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
The
weird
low for the
timing.
win. Xander
Somehow
actually
Xander
wins.
gets back into 1st.
Is that a double? It must be a double shock race from Jazz on Toad's Factory. That's
Yeah,
pretty
I think
insane.
England called like their like 4 or 5 into the ramp. Must have been.
Jazz. Okay. I was saying Ethan is the stronger bagger here, but I mean, obviously TF is not really a indicator of who's a better bagger. But maybe Ethan just not used to the Jazz lag there. Like, giving up 2 shocks in 9 just seems kind of strange. I have a feeling that one of those had to be in 10.
Yeah, who knows what kind of shenanigans he pulled, but England definitely needed that. They were not in any of the top three spots right away. Things were looking grim. Blues were going back and forth, but at the end of the day, the shock is the ultimate race changer.
Yeah, and if
So they're
you're
staying in it,
England, you just stop that snowball instantly because
right?
it was looking like a top three easy run. But I think Xander, you said Xander pulled blue in four. They get the shock early. It's such a strange shock too, but I think they kind of had to use it instantly. They were scared. I'm sure Jazz was scared that he was gonna get starred, so maybe he might have called it. Because it's not a typical shock spot, but when Rosen and Zach have dodges there, I think you call it instantly and make sure nothing bad happens.
Yeah, I think there's also something to be said about like shocking the other team on that straightaway there with like the conveyor belts and stuff. Because if you chain reds, you can just take out two people for free, which is
hmm
sometimes really important.
Gold
It's
might take
also really
RBC picks
unpredictable.
here. Yeah. Yeah, like I was so surprised to even see a shock there, but I think that's what you get with Xander. Xander, both of these players, Xander and Frozen, like the two IGLs, I think they call like quote unquote strange shocks that end up working. Like that's not a shock spot that I would have personally called, but you see what happened afterward. They were top three, and without a spam blue from Frozen, that would have been much better.
Yeah, here we go to RBC. All about the drafts at the beginning. Looks like USA is getting the better of it right now. I don't know what happened to Xander in the front.
It's a jackpot red pull here, but I think he reds Mura.
Yeah, hit both daisies. But US
I
North
do
in good
think, yeah, I
spots.
think, yeah, USA should still have the good spots, but Brody's taken out, Frozen's also taken out, so it might be a and Mura again taken out by his own teammate. If England is controlling first, this is a really strong start.
Yeah, on our other POV, we see Xander somehow snuck back into first. I don't know, maybe he was in first the whole time and it was lag, but maybe he drafted back up. But now England in top three, so it's their turn to really take control of a race.
Yeah,
Ops doing a good job schlagging.
this is exactly what you need to do. Like take out
Yeah.
Brody. That's a really unfortunate item. Brody has
Oh,
shrooms
the
to get
Brody had a
away
shroom.
too.
I
Yeah, he's
think
not
Ops
gonna
made a
catch
mistake
him.
there by hitting the wall. He's now too far behind to catch Brody.
Yeah, I think he was trying to lag, like
Right.
hoping he was on the rail, but no, that's such an unfortunate pull though. It's 2.5%, I believe.
Yeah, TC third. It almost really good if he found a way to pass it, but Brody
Yeah,
smartly shroomed away and also took that slightly faster rail, tricking straight onto it, which helped out there.
there's a
Oh,
shot
they
from
shocked
Ethan,
again.
and he's probably still in 10th here, so a really smart shock. Don't know why that Nana's not being called out, but he was gonna start there anyways. It doesn't really change the spots at the top though, and we see Fresh with a TC, so they go from top two to top two still. So England are chilling for now. It's just a little bit closer of a pack.
Yeah, they're within striking distance now. If there's a blue or something, then USA could move into like 2-3. Xander's trying to make sure that that doesn't happen, just trying to protect Zach's
Oh
lead.
wow, great snipe from Xander there.
Yeah, huge play just to take out another one, and
Wow,
he gets frozen too.
he's literally just destroyed them there. The entire team is spinning. Like Ethan is winning the bag battle though, so Ethan needs another bailout shock.
And I think Frozen backed his teammate on accident. Kind of a risky red. Nice pull from Ops here at the Golden as well. Gonna be a lot of tough spots for England, but like you said, Ethan was 10th before
He
for
doesn't
USA,
even
so
chain. He misses the chain there. So a
yeah.
potential blue, a potential bomb to hit ops, all of that's out the window. This is gonna be a
Mm.
super strong race. They have to do a shock in the boxes. If Ethan has it, I don't even know how you call this. You just call it to hit ops, but there's a bill in play. It looks like no shock. To England top
Oh,
three.
that
It's an
back row
England
took
top
him
three
out.
five. Wow.
Wow,
I,
complete turnaround. We're gonna be just about tied, maybe a slight England lead after a GP. And they dominated the front, and Xander really went huge. Started lap three, right after US North had used that first shock just to try to keep the pack close and get themselves back into the front. Xander hit multiple people there. That was absolutely huge.
I think one of the things about this track in 2026 that I'm realizing, like you were saying, the drafts are important at the beginning, and we saw that it was Brody and Fresh in top two. So I was thinking that okay, if that's true, like if the drafts are that important on this track, they should be able to control the race. But I think if you get shrooms at the beginning, that's like way more powerful. And I'm sure Xander pulled triple shroom 6 and got into first very early on. And that's really the deciding factor in that race. Xander showing off. I mean, he's probably still the best in the room after that performance. Like, he hit everyone, did everything for his team there.
Yeah, probably would have been top 4, honestly. I think Murray made a play to hit Ops while he was goldening through the grass, because he was in a really good spot too after that pull in 6th. So England showing that they can match anything that US North can do. You know, that was a race where they didn't get shocked, they didn't start in particularly good spots, but they grabbed control of the front and they did not let it go.
Yeah, and that was with the Ethan early shock too. I guess the unfortunate part, if you're US North, you're banking on him getting another one, and he wasn't able to pull it even when Bill was in play. We did see a Bill at the very end, so pretty unlucky there if you're Ethan.
Unfortunately, England don't get their snowball chance. Fortunate for US North, I guess.
Yeah,
Reset track.
Ops with the probably not a tactical burnout, but he was going to slow down here anyways.
Yeah.
Let's see what he pulls here. It's gonna be triple shrooms, probably the worst item he could have pulled, but gives him more chance to pull a better item here. Frozen with triple red. Zach is back here, so that top 3 is disintegrated for now. Good play onto the Ethan there. That's gonna give Jazz a free box 10. And on this track, you really need to pull shock.
Yeah, great awareness from Ops to go for that. It looked like he didn't have that in mind. I think he was just going for Frozen at first, and then he looked forwards and he saw just a golden opportunity to hit the bagger. So if England pull shock here, you gotta give Ops some credit for it. It's a great play.
I'm trying to pay attention to the baggers here. I think there is a shock from England here. So that star, look at the impact of that star onto Ethan. An early shock. Frozen trying to do too much there. I guess for him it's not too much, but not a good place to fall off. And you'd assume that Jazz is still going to be winning the bag battle. The problem is now it's back to prior to 30 seconds. So if he pulls Bill, it might be toast for him. So I'm a little worried about that shot call.
Yeah, I was expecting a blue dodge there, and he did. I think Zach chained in like maybe 7th or 8th with that star, so he's pretty much a lock on winning this race. Just dodged a blue, which either means he's goldening in a star or he has more shrooms in first. So he's totally fine. Even if USA get the second shock, I think they won't be able to catch him at all.
Ethan is winning the bag battle right now, so Ops kind of has to hold this Mega forever. Rosen is back here, so it's like 1-4 for England. It's actually not as good as I thought it would be. A Mega in play, a star. I would have expected a shock there, but no, they're just trying to catch up now.
Yeah, I wonder if somebody told them to use that there.
Yeah, maybe US North has it. They have to have it.
We'll see what Frozen can do. He's definitely going for 3rd place. He's going to probably chain his shroom wide. Gets ahead, but he pulls a flip at the worst time.
And here comes Ops on the other POV. There's a shock. That's going to help Brody win. Beat Xander at least.
Still a pretty strong race for England, though, despite the 8th place. First shock, yeah, great call. I mean, we've seen a handful of those lap 2 shocks. I feel like almost all the shocks so far, aside from like the last second ones, have just come on lap 2 just to guarantee first, maybe a couple top spots.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's another one where if I'm playing on the team, I don't know if I'm calling that shock. So again, I feel like maybe Jazz was gonna lose it because Ethan was right on his tail. Because it wasn't that high impact of a shock. They got into top 2, but you basically make it so it's the bag battle is even there. So Jazz being in 10 when he's like 1 second ahead of Ethan, is he gonna risk that box 10 and pull Bill, or is he gonna go around and give Ethan box 9s to get into 10? And I think that's what happened in the end.
Yeah, I can see it. I mean, they guarantee first, but there's still variance there with the bagging battle being reopened.
I have a feeling they called it because Jazz was maybe about to lose it there. Because I don't think you call it there. They weren't in desperate need to call shock there. Especially when you're not gone 10. If you're gone 10, then sure, you can call it there. We saw Zach. They gave Zach a free win, but it didn't really benefit anyone else.
So we remain even. 5 races down, almost halfway through match 1.
It's been a great match so far. Like even shocks. I feel like the plays have
Yeah,
been good plays from both teams. I think the standout play so far is the Xander on RBC, but I'm sure we're gonna see someone top it, especially on a track like this.
yeah, definitely going to be some spice happening here. Early Mega from Frozen just taking out everyone on his path.
Yeah, I think Brody and Xander both getting hit there. We're gonna see who's gonna contest Mura on Ultra. I think Zach might go for it in
Mhm.
first. Yeah. So
Yeah, the
cut
problem with
is gonna
Zach
be
is he
open.
can't block both cuts, but if there's a bomb snipe, that will work out. Ops going for Shroomless, going to make it. Should be the first person across, but it looks like somebody's goldening up.
And we see Mura's not on the other side of this cut, is he? Uh, I don't know which Daisy's in fourth here.
I don't know, nobody's really far behind, but it's USA in top 2, maybe a couple of Goldens there. Drafting each other as well, so you got a further lead. So a strong start. I mean, this is you were saying before, just the individual ability. They're always going to find a way to get to the front, no matter the circumstance.
I think Ethan is winning the bag battle too, so... Oh no, I think Jazz is now in 10, so... This might be a lap 2 shock angle if they pull it. And there it is.
There it is right away. Cut's blocked. See, there's a star. Maybe somebody will go for star cut. No, Xander just opts to go forward. Hits his
Yeah.
teammate on accident. A lot of bodies there. As Frozen
Frozen's
takes
gonna
cut
get
for
first,
free.
yeah. So I don't know who unblocked cut then. Because... Or maybe... I don't know. It was blocked. I don't know if Xander unblocked it and then Frozen ends up capitalizing the most out of it. Again, another shock for England, lap 2, and it was probably the right play, but USA are taking advantage of these shocks.
I don't know. I think if you're calling a lap 2 shock, it has to give you some sort of value with taking the cut, and not a single
Yeah,
player on their team took it.
I think Jazz pulled it too late. Like, they knew they had to call it there, but by the time he pulled it, the cut was already blocked. We're gonna see Frozen block it here.
Yeah, he put some nanas around the ultra area and then tried to block the regular cut with a fib.
Look
Trying
at
to make it
everyone
hard
on
for
cut.
everyone. Here's
Another
Ops
shock.
dodging now.
It's a Jazz shock again. It's a double shock here. He's gonna win this race.
Yeah, England up into
We
top 2.
should focus
1v1
on
here.
Frozen, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big 1v1
Going for
between
the trail.
the two
Oh, so
IGLs here.
close. He's just
He
muscling
wins it.
him.
Wow, what a play.
Wow.
But England are still here. Rosen looking to keep third. It looks like he will.
Yeah, not a huge swing, but a good play from Frozen. So much confidence to just take that wheelie line there in front of the, the swerving player.
Yeah, I
Such good
think
understanding of the lag.
Frozen is the most aggressive player. I think to his detriment sometimes. Sometimes he'll just risk a tight line when he's in second and the other team's in first and hit the most obvious backspam. You're like, he looks like a bot right now. But other times he goes tighter than the tight backspam and then somehow outlines and makes an insane montage play. 1-3-4 though for England. You would 1-3-4-6 for England. You would expect that with a double shock race from Jazz, but after that first shock, I was looking a little bit eerie for England.
Yeah, the first one was questionable. They needed like one other, I don't know, maybe they shocked someone in a set, they didn't pull shrooms, or there was some sort of reason why they couldn't take it. Wouldn't be surprised if there was like a US North body block on the cut or something.
Yeah,
I'm not really sure.
I agree with their shock call because I don't know if they knew what items Brody and Fresh had in top 2 and they were scared that if we let them take cut here, the race is over. So we have to call shock. We'll unblock the cut for ourselves in the back spots, but it looked like Frozen was the first one and maybe the only one to take cut lap 2 after Xander unblocked it in the star. So that
Oh,
shock.
and a big update here. Hold on. -20 penalty coming in against USA.
Really? Oh wow. That's a even
That is
bigger
a
risk.
massive, massive penalty, especially when England just took like their first real lead of the match. Looks like somebody took Ultra lap 2 after shock and got starred by Ethan, who was just trying to go back. Super unfortunate there for the bagger. There's nothing you could really do. You have to take
Wow, yeah.
the backwards respawn strat.
So England gonna
But,
take a commanding lead now.
Yeah, I don't think US North have really ever trailed by this much throughout this entire tournament.
Yeah. Shroom 3 Yeah, it's so hard to play against those Nanas. And TC4, maybe the momentum's starting to shift a lot into England's favor. That's a really good draft, though.
You can see the mind
Wow,
games coming out.
not a good play from Xander there, but looks
Yeah,
like,
the idea was good to block like the alternate line, but he
yeah.
probably could have just done the same thing with one Nana and protected himself.
I feel like he spammed that second Nana accidentally. There's no way that's a good play, but either way, England still in 1-3-4 here. Same thing as last race. Xander gets hit, but he's still up here. Frozen the
Yeah.
only hope for his team right now. Look at the bag difference. One of the baggers already going forwards, and it's Jazz going forwards. Does he already have the shock?
Could be. Pack is fairly spread out, at least among the top spots, so if England have it right now, they could just kind of run it up
Yeah,
and maybe
and
dodge
Ops is
ops
holding
later.
8th. Like, this is, I feel like, ideal. Like,
Yeah,
he's gonna
really
wait
good
in 8th
setup.
no matter what here.
Yeah, what US North needs is like a few cut takers in the
Oh,
mid pack, but two people in the back not taking it. Some getting hit as well. I can't imagine. I mean, I guess one of them just got unlucky not pulling streams there. Probably Brody.
I want to say that Jazz has shock, so the build here is kind of bait. Like, I think what he's gonna do is gonna take it through the cut and gonna call it super super late.
Rosen making a push into first though. Just change his shroom. Now in a 1v1 for the time being with Rosen.
Rosen's
Really
definitely
tight up
had it on the
there.
screen.
Yeah, Rosen got back into first after the POW. Doc is gonna be scary.
Oh wow, he's destroyed him. He can't even take the rail. There's the shock. They're forced to call it a shock
Yeah.
red. He breaks it. Wow.
So they respawn dodge Rosen. Ops dodging up in the bill. Frozen's gonna break that red. Ops should overtake first with protection as well, so he's pretty much safe. Unless Frozen does a crazy like side green or something. He'll probably go for it on the right here. There it is. Oh, just misses.
Not gonna hit. Not gonna hit Zach
Needed to go
either.
for it.
Another shock for Jazz, and maybe you're right. Jazz is really taking control of this match on his own. Ethan already has a -20 to his name, so maybe he's playing a little safer and maybe caused him to not pull shock there. I think Jazz just pulled it at 30. That's just one you can't really do much about if you're a bagger.
Yeah, it could have been. He turned around almost immediately. And England are gonna be pretty far ahead. Like, US North gotta figure something out.
And
They need
like
a massive race and then some.
Frozen played really, really well that race. He broke 2 reds after shock, so this could have been even a much bigger race. Like the fact that he even got Rosen out of there, forcing him to call shock there, which I think they may have done anyways. Still, like this could have been disastrous had it
Yeah.
not been for Frozen. I don't know how he got in the first. I think he said he changed
So,
Shroom and
yeah,
got
he had
in.
a shroom in second, which was also I was gonna point out the awareness there. He knew the other team had shock, and a lot of players would just kind of default to holding that shroom until the cut because that's how you gain time. But he knew that the other team was never gonna let him just take cut into first if they saw him going on the right path. So he just shroomed into first right away, forcing England to call an earlier shock. Which, I mean, I can't say how big of a difference it made, but it still shows that his head is in the right place. It's a heads up call.
Yeah, and I mean right now Ops is just doing what his team needs him to do. He's just holding on to the dodge. Xander, Rosen, and Zach are the ones in the front, and Ops is just dodging and getting his points. That's kind of what you need. It's a good
Yeah,
balance,
he
especially
had a
when you have
slow
shock.
start, but yeah, if you're dodging on lap 3, then kind of game kind of wins itself.
Yeah, it's good confidence for him too. Because if he had a slow match 1, then you're thinking, especially for his teammates, like maybe the lights are too bright for him. But so far, so good for Ops. Let's see what he does in first here. Or against Frozen. Frozen's not even going to contest him. He's going to go in the cut in second. I've seen a lot of players do this recently. Yasuo is the one who does it all the time. So I always think of Yasuo whenever someone does it.
Yeah, it definitely complements the Yasuo playstyle to put it
And look what
to
he
put it
gets here.
one
He gets
way.
golden. So maybe this is the wave here.
Yeah, Frozen's just trying to survive. Zach was in a good spot to go for a schlag. Still kind of is, but I guess he didn't pull anything to that effect.
Ops in
Frozen would
7th
be
on the
looking for
other
first.
POVs, so he did not keep first.
There's the red. I was
Oh
gonna say,
wow,
yeah,
yeah.
he just had to try to survive, but there's only so much control you have with these straightaways and stuff. But somehow, look at all these spots for USA. They've overtaken
Yeah.
the front once again.
and has must have something to do with Ops getting taken out somehow. Lap 1, so well played to USA. If we see a shock, this could be a no. It's gonna be another Jazz shock potentially. Yes, there it is. Wow, Jazz is destroying right now.
Yeah, and look at all the England players dodging that. I think 3 of their team dodged it in the cannon, some with reds, some probably with shrooms, so they're going to be coming for those top spots.
Chirp Reds here for Zach is a really good pull, just frustrating them even more. These are kind of demoralizing if you're USA. Like you played such a great opening just to get broken instantly.
Yeah, shocks have been really going in England's favor lately, which is part of why they're so far ahead.
England are fighting, or USA are fighting back though. This is back to 2-3-4. It was a nice bomb play. Might have been a snipe onto Xander. Frozen running to a fib, but it's actually not as bad as I thought it would be.
Yeah, definitely some England in the back, but again, if there is a second shock, which hard to say right now, that would absolutely win the race for either team.
One of the baggers falling off. Pow in 8th here, forcing all the
2
dodges.
stars.
Triple. Wow, that's a horrid pull.
No shock for England though. The reds could be good here if he hits fresh. That would pretty much guarantee him lap. Oh, sorry, those are greens. I'm colorblind. I don't think
Gets
fresh
this-
can pass this.
He does.
Somehow they got it away to somebody else.
Yeah, and he gets a mega for his efforts. So look, he should try and hit them here, but not too much. No
Murrah in
blocks here for Ops.
first. I don't know when Murrah got into first. That red somehow connected on Xander on the line. That's a huge swing for US. Xander
And
lost
he's hit
so
on the
many
line
spots off that.
again. Wow. USA just got top 3 on a what looked to be a killer shock lap 2 from England. This is great fight back from USA North to keep this one a close match.
Yeah, I'm wondering how Xander got hit by that red. I know he chose to go middle path, which usually you'd think is a safer choice because if there's, a fib in the tree branch, there's not a lot of room to avoid it, but maybe he chained the wrong item or pulled the wrong thing last set. Left himself vulnerable. I can't really picture how he would have gotten rid of there in any other way.
That's a
But that's gonna
huge confidence
tighten
boost
things
for
up.
for USA there. You played such a great opening. You have that demoralizing shock, and you still somehow break back into those top spots. Something happened lap 2 on the bridge. Xander got hit, and then Brody had a killer bomb. But someone had to do something to Xander. That's the most I've seen Xander get hit in a race. It seems like he's one of those players that almost never gets hit, and he got hit like 2 times on the line there. First from the red, and I think he got back redded again to give Brody a spot. So I don't know what happened in the front for USA to come back into this, but that's a huge race. With 4 races left, the momentum might have shifted again.
Yeah, really the only difference between the teams right now is that trolling penalty. US North pulled themselves out of the mud there for that one. I mean, they're all super fast too. That's another thing. Like these people who are all like Grandmaster and Lounge, like they will put pressure on the player in front of them pretty much every single time. And if they get it right, they can overtake even in those situations where they maybe shouldn't.
Let's see how England bounced back here, because really they should have won that last race, and I'm sure they're all thinking about it. Like, how on earth do we let that happen? Make sure we don't let them keep running away with it here. Koopa Cave is a pretty good track to do that, though. It's not easy to run this one.
Yeah, it looks like Frozen might have pulled a shroom up there. All US North players up in the front right now. Top 3, I believe.
And look at, I think one of the baggers went for the strat, and he made it! That's
Oh my
surely
God,
it's Ethan. Yeah, Ethan's gonna
That's
get
a
one
first
box.
try bagging strat. The rate that
This
he
is-
makes that at is actually
Yeah.
ridiculous. That is so much harder than I think people realize.
Yeah. And now Jazz just has to go for the 9th. We're gonna know if Ethan has it, because he's just gonna go to that unhittable spot, I'm sure. But for now, he's just sitting still, probably going for boxes. Looks like a blue here. Fresh is able to dodge it, and Ethan definitely has the shock now. Oh, wow! It's a failed Shroomba.
Yeah, doing it with the red is in his defense a little bit harder because the red will try to follow the road and curve out of the way, but you still got to be hitting that. He went for like a fast Shroomba too, where you just wheelie all the way through it and just just didn't get it.
Forced fill here from Rosen. We know that from Rosen. Frozen in my mind, but Frozen's holding the star here. We know they have shock. This should be a winning race. Like, this is perfect conditions, or relatively close to perfect conditions here for Frozen. He's the shot caller. He knows exactly what he's going to do with this.
Yeah, the standard play is just to get all these England players after the first set, and if they don't have any dodges, which they might not, could be in a really bad spot, but there is one. We saw a Mega used up there.
Good patience here, but it's going to allow... Unless they
It's
call
going
it
to come
here.
right
No.
now, I think. Usually you would see it around this grass section. I don't know. Maybe they're already good enough spots that they're just going to wait.
See, if he gets a good chain, he's not even going to wait for the chain. They know he's going to call here, and this is just going to be top 3. Unless Zach, he gets Mega. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Top 3 for now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Zach caught up a lot. And
Frozen's probably going to go for a little schlag up here and then take the cut to secure a top spot. Unless it's just too far ahead.
Looks
Might
like
just take
Brody
second.
redded Zach, so this should be at least top 2. Green's on the cut. Might do some damage. That's a strong race from US North.
Wow, another top 3 back to back. We're going to be tied up.
And that's
England are
where
letting this slip.
the rep difference there in the new KC strat is paying off. I knew Jazz. I don't think Jazz has ever tried it in his life. He knows he doesn't. He doesn't have that in his bag. But Ethan, being the newer gen bagger, he's got that one on lock and pulls a critical shock to get his team right back in it. That practically makes up for his -20, which wasn't his fault, by the way.
Yeah, -20 was just a really unfortunate, circumstance in there. So for anyone who hasn't been around that long, hasn't seen it, there's a bagging strat where if you pull shrooms early on, you jump off the track and clip off the side of a cliff. And if you get enough air and travel far enough, you get a respawn halfway across the track that allows you to stay in 10th place and hit boxes on your own, uncontested. And that is what Ethan did there on the first try. Because if you don't do it before 30 seconds go by, the other bagger sometimes just pulls the shock right away, and then it's kind of useless. But Ethan clutched up there, hit it first try, and that shock was massive for US North. They use it really smart too. They knew that England would be predicting that first set area, so Frozen just waited until the next, grass section to call it, and their top 2 was already pretty much secured at that point. So they were now 1 point behind after being down around 40, 45 before.
Yeah, and another thing about that race, Frozen again, making the right play there. He could have shocked first set. It would have been it might have been top 3, but he waited because he knew that if he shocks there, Ops is gonna wait. Ops could still have potential to break their top 3 by getting a golden. Instead, he waits, and then Ops has no chance to get back into that race, and it's an easy top 3.
I think that's probably a bit of a misplay too from England, because if Xander's using a Mega there, I think Ops should just hold A and just hope that either they shock and Xander dodges, or they don't shock and he can golden up. But by slowing down, it put them in a spot where neither of them really profited too much, and it really maximized how much that US North shock helped.
It's a big track pick here from England, and instantly Ops gets a star and just gets himself up there. Another critical track for Shock here. We're gonna see who wins it out on this track, but Frozen Golden 6. It doesn't look like we have a clear winner so far in the opening, because no shrooms in first, at least for Ops. So looks like we're just gonna be playing for those mid spot shrooms to try and see some sort of breakaway. Nice
Ops just
snipe
got
onto
sniped
Ops.
and then redded from the side.
Destroyed. Wow.
Jeez.
Then he's like, throw blue, throw blue.
Yeah, US
There
North
goes
were
Fresh.
top 3 for a moment. One of them took cut, Frozen goldening as well, so top 2 for Frozen and Brody. And someone in the back on England pulled a POW there, so not a lot of catch-up potential for them at the moment, but still some time. Obviously, there's still a shock and the cut lap 3, but top 2 pretty far ahead. Especially
Yeah,
first.
and I think, this is where Frozen's really good. The back stems are on point. I think the blue might have been a little bit of a mistake, because the blue went for Fresh, and Brody was just able to take cut, and he's gone first. Like, Fresh is not a threat.
So Frozen just backed 2 people, and then Murr just sideswiped all the boxes across, cutting them off from having any shrooms or anything.
Baggers
Unless
are
they're
neck
already
and neck.
holding 'em.
One of the baggers is off. Jazz is off. So no shock here for England.
Yeah, only a
Just gonna
little
get
bit of
taken
catching
out
up
here.
at the cut. I mean, Ops has a chance to hold fourth, which would be decent, compensation for them if they can get maybe 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, Ethan. If anyone has shock, it's Ethan. So, and
What a
another back
timed
spam.
green. That was thrown
Frozen's,
from so far away.
yeah,
Such good timing on
Frozen's
that.
just doing everything right now. Late Golden, are we gonna see a shock cancel here? Stop the Shroomers. There it is. And Murray's gonna dodge too. That ground star might do something. It may have kept Rosen's spot over Murrah, but USA just turning it up when they need to. It's another strong race.
Yeah, that was kind of insane. I mean, it started with the snipe to get Ops out of first, and then they just had so many people in a good spot. You know, it felt like just individually everybody was doing their part to be up in the front, and those little plays along the way, the back spams and the snipes, just push that advantage further and further. US North are now pretty far ahead. Frozen having a stellar match individually,
Yeah, and this
showing
is
up on the big
like
stage.
Frozen's had some monster performances in the World Cup. Frozen's not a player that you would really associate with being an MVP. Like, you never predict him to MVP D1, but you also respect him enough to put him in those top 5, top 3, maybe top 1 war players conversation. So he's just a multifaceted player, and you saw pretty much all of that on display in that race. Some of the back spams there, I promise you, they look easy, but he was timing them to perfection there.
Yeah, and England have been on the back foot for a while now. That's 3 big races in a row for US North. Like, around like a plus 20 each time. But
It's
still a
really
couple
fun.
races left.
It's fun to see the bag battle going back and forth. First it was Jazz pulling a lot, and then Ethan just got it right back for his team. Daisy Circuit in Mario Kart World Cup 2026 finals, by the way. This is a track that we very rarely see in D1 play. I think England and JX, so like representatives of both of these teams, are the only teams to pick this track. So if we're gonna see high level Daisy Circuit gameplay, these are the players to do it. And I mean, I don't know if that counts as high level gameplay. Megas and stars galore here to start this race off.
Yeah, everyone pulling a dodge. I think, I was gonna say I think Daisy Squad picks this too, but I think it's just a mill.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if you'd count that.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like, this is not a popular track at all. Especially for baggers, this is a nightmare track because you can't lose Bill anywhere. You just have to gamble. It's not like, I don't know if there's a way to crack this track bagging wise. Do you just not touch a box until the other bagger pulls Bill? That's a viable strat on a lot of tracks like Daisy Circuit, but so far this track pick is not working out for Jazz, who picked it. There's a blue to maybe stop the bleeding here, but it's still top 2. I think Frozen might want a shroom here, depending on how close Xander gets.
See, he's thinking about it for sure, but that spot is not a great place to change, which is probably why he didn't do it. But yeah,
Ethan's
USA
going
still in
forward.
control of the front.
I think Ethan has a, yeah, Jazz is in Bill. Ethan's pulled another one.
And they're gonna play this pretty
Oh,
standard, I would imagine. They're gonna keep their top 2 up until the end and then dodge somebody before it's too late. And England won't
yeah,
have a
Brody
chance to break these
failed, but
spots.
he had shroom too, so there's shrooms in top 2 here. Another shroom for Brody here, that's the
Going down,
slowdown.
is there a...
I don't like that play, but I think he knew Xander had a shroom.
I don't know, he's going for the hit on Xander.
He's going
Maybe a
for a
shock
shock
red?
red?
It just doesn't
Oh,
even
okay.
need it. And there's the
Doesn't.
shock anyway. Fresh
This
dodging
might
up in
be
the
a.
back.
This might seal it.
It's just another a massive hit. I can't believe the amount of races they're stringing together. It just every single time they've got top 2 lockdown, plus the shock. Ethan has really turned up lately since that -20. Definitely redeemed himself and then some.
Frozen is in flow state right now. Like, I don't know if I've seen him play this good in a while. This one's going onto YouTube maybe right after this match. Like, this is a phenomenal performance by Frozen, single-handedly. I think from the running perspective, got his team this victory here, or close to it.
Yeah, I think this one is mathematically over. Actually, no. They're ahead by 41, so if England all run and they get top 5, then they can tie and send the match into overtime. So I guess they'll try it, and it gives us something to watch for. But yeah, I mean, US North took this match by the reins when they were down a lot.
Yeah,
This is
and
a shocking turnaround.
the big matchup here is obviously going to be Frozen versus Xander. Those are the big names on each team, and so far, Frozen has won that interaction almost every time. I think the only one I remember was that RBC where he got back-greened pretty easily, but everything else, even those plays, like who else is making that, like those selection of back spams and schlags in top two other than Frozen? I think there are very little players who do that and win out, but Frozen is one of them. That's why he's one of one for making those sort of plays. It just makes him look like a genius.
Yeah, so last chance here for England, and they don't get a good track that they want. It's DK Mountain, so
Yeah,
pretty much impossible to top 5 this track. I'd put it at like a 0.01% chance because it's just so
yeah,
long and there's the cannon, so you could just dodge anyone. If you're US North, they get probably 2 free shocks. Plus, they're already starting in the front, so
yeah. So they're not even gonna try to go for this top five here. So England are conceding pretty much, or trying to go for a troll pen. There's not really a spot to troll on this track. What we were expecting to happen was England would have had to run and get top five, but they're just gonna practice for the next match. Remember, this is a best of five, so they're still even if they lose this one, they have to lose another two more. So just getting practice on DK Mountain when they're in bad spots is not a bad gamble here, just to get some confidence for this next match.
yeah, I think anything needs that England need to adjust probably just comes down to the front control. We've seen Xander do, his part here and there, but other than that, it's been pretty much all US North in the front. I think Rosen has kind of underperformed this match. Ops' points really only came from those races where he was able to dodge, and Zach we haven't seen too much of either. He's definitely been in the front his fair share, but I wouldn't say he's had a massive impact.
Yeah, I don't think there's been a standout player for England other than Jazz. Like from the running perspective, maybe we just haven't seen it, but I don't think Rosen's been as good as he has been in. Like he's a D1 winner. They just won D1, I believe, with Rosen being a huge part of that team alongside Xander. Both of them just not been like they haven't been a top two, top three player in this room, and you need one of them to be, if not both.
Yeah, against the lineup as good as US North, you need every single player to step up.
And we didn't even get a good Fresh performance. Fresh is on sub 70 points right now, so we just got a historic performance from Frozen. He might cap it off with another montage play onto Ops here. Ops does win this one. It's not going to do much other than give him some confidence going into this next match. Another good back from him. A late shock from Jazz. All of this doesn't really matter. I'm sure USA are aware of it. England are also aware of it too. So Frozen gonna get his 10 points. I think that gets him to like 120. A 120 in match one of grand finals is something that very few players in this game have done. It's 125 points for him. It's a win for USA North. More importantly, they have a 1-0 lead in this grand finals.
Yeah, by a margin of 30 points, but if you consider that at one point they were down 40 with a minus 20 penalty on Ethan, that's a pretty bitter outcome for England because they had, they had everything they needed to win the match. They had the biggest lead anyone's had over US North thus far, and they just couldn't hold it, couldn't keep it together and put up good races. So US North
Yeah,
gonna have the advantage, 1-0. Not a huge, mountain for England to climb, but they're only going to have so many chances.
yeah, and the thing is, what I'm worried about is this was a winnable war for England. They had
Right.
momentum, they had that 40-point lead, and I think they instantly gave it up. Because I think the race after the Troll Pen was a really good race from USA North, which kind of shifted the tide back into their favor. And yeah, that's one you want back for England. Because honestly, like I was saying, I only expect England to win one. That was a winnable war. So we'll see if they can bounce back. I have faith in them. I don't think they played that bad, but if Frozen has another performance like that, I just don't see them coming back.
Yeah. great showing of tenacity there from US, and it wasn't even really like a snowball situation like we were talking about. It was Maple, where they weren't starting in first, Gardens, Koopa Cape, and Daisy Circuit, all back to back, where they made the comeback. So, showing that they are versatile enough to win on any track type. They don't need to rely on top spots or just shock all the time. They can do either one. It's going to be up to England to play up to that level. They were starting out well, like we said, but you got to play well for the entire war if you want to win it.
Yeah, for sure. So, I think we're going to have a switch of host. We're going to wait for those guys to join up. But in the meantime, we're going to take a little bit of a break here. Everyone's going to be back in the room. I don't think we're going to see any lineup changes. So, I'd say maybe give it 5-10 minutes. We'll be back and ready for match 2.
Alright, folks, we are back after an intermission. We had to wait for our servers to do their, daily reset, maintenance, whatever you want to call it, but almost ready for match 2, and we've had a personnel change on the mic. You want to go ahead and say hi?
Hello everyone, it's Sal. I'm thrilled to be joining the commentary for the race of this BO5 World Cup Finals. World Cup always one of the most entertaining events to watch. Been a fan since the very first edition on WinFi now 11 years ago, and we will see how the rest of this match unfolds. I can't wait.
Yeah, we were just talking during the break about, what England has to do different if they want to pull themselves back into this match. What do you think needs to change?
Well, what was going well initially was that England were getting the great majority of the shots, if not basically all of them, when they were winning their races. And you wonder if there is anything at all that they can do, because looking at the lineups, I think most people would have US North as their favorites. You just cannot deny that, name by name, most people would think that they're better.
Yeah,
So it was going well because of all the shocks. It just you need to match their level. You need to, okay, a little intruder. Ignore that. Anyway, probably if I didn't mention that, nobody was going to notice. It's fine. You need to like go over what your usual expectation would be. You need to like match what the other team is bringing. You maybe a little luck, maybe a little. It was going well. They know what they've had a little glimpse of what they need to do to try and match the other team, and but keep that for 12 races this time. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, they would expect to do better with a better shot count. There were times, though, when they didn't pull shock and they were able to still put up numbers, like on that RBC race where Xander had a huge impact, and I think they need a little more of that. They need more players to just stay in the front, take out a couple opponents. There were some times where it looked like they ought to be holding top spots better than they did, and they just kind of crumbled, and US North took advantage. Like, I think about the start of Moonview Highway where they were top 2, and then by the end of like the first couple turns it was just US North top 3, which shouldn't really be happening. I'm not sure, I didn't see the POVs in question to know if they really like misplayed it or something, and same thing on Maple Treeway where they had pretty good spots at the beginning and they used a shock and they still couldn't capitalize. So individual performance wise, they need to do a little bit better in the front, and maybe a little bit better counterplay when US North have shock, because every time it feels like the US North game plan with shock is really straightforward, because they're already in top spots and they're already holding a dodge and they can kind of just do whatever they want with it. So it's going to be a mix of both of those, at least in talking about things that they have control over.
They definitely need to start winning more of the 1v1s, those interactions between the middle to top spots. But sometimes you just wonder what you can do in the moment. Sometimes the opponent is just better.
And sometimes you just got to play and accept that, and don't, you just play the game, right? You don't need to make a drastic shift. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You just got to play the game and, I don't know, put your best foot forward. It sounds dumb, but they're good enough to win. If they play well, they just got to play the game, play well, and don't get too flustered early on.
Yeah, that said, it was only a 30-point deficit, which is large enough, but it wasn't a complete blowout. Maybe after match 1, they will have figured something out that could make the next matches at least closer, if not to turn it around completely. We will see.
Yeah.
First race, standard picks. You wouldn't expect anything too different from these. Maple Treeway.
They were winning at the halfway mark, so as long as they just believe they can do it, we've seen them get there. But they say that doubt is the biggest killer of dreams.
Let's see if Frozen Hope's in second again. Let's see. This was interesting last time around. He's not. It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I wonder why he didn't do it this time. Maybe the middle spots are different now, and they have someone else. Looks like both daisies are in, one from each team.
I don't remember the exact spots the last time this was picked, but it might have to do something with that. It wasn't. It doesn't look like he's worked out too well for him. Squished after getting trailed right out of cannon. We
Yeah,
see
not the
Ops is in
greatest
mega-
start. England looked like they were in really good spots. I mean, we saw Murrah have to burn his star right away to get up there and battle for third and fourth. Top two for England.
Powell is really strong on this track. Maybe not as strong when your teammates are. It's mostly your teammates in front of you, but that back might not be that bad in a way. You can teep out two of them, I suppose.
Yeah, it's
After that.
almost better for securing top two. I mean, not better to get hit. Maybe the play would be to drop POW, but either way, this POW will be
One
used
more hit.
to push that top two lead further. Unless he's in the cannon when it comes up, this could be an issue. Because
Might
you'd
be
want to
told to
use it like
spam it
right
right when
now.
he's out.
Yeah,
He does
still
that.
going to be decent, and it gets all the items
Yeah,
out of the
that's
U.S.
still very
players.
good, yeah.
There's a
Third
blue
survives it
onto
pretty well,
Rosen.
yeah, and the blue, yeah. Frozen survives it pretty easily, but only pulls a blooper. He's gonna go for the other item. They need another blue if they wanna try and get into first.
Yeah, Frozen driving a little sloppy there. It's hard to see on the split POV, but it is, worth saying that they waited a good, 20 plus minutes between those matches with presumably no warm up if they were trying to just get in the room. So gotta get back into shape here. Looks like England are still in pretty good spots.
Jazz looks like he's falling off. Probably shockless still. Yeah, Star's being chained by both teams. Probably
Yeah, just trying
signals
to
that
catch
nobody
up.
has it. One more Grand Star.
Yeah, hard to do much here. This box is going to be really important for pretty much everyone in the back. So with this draft, yeah. England in top two at the moment. Ops has a chance to play for a tough spot as well.
If he
Just gonna
drives it
hold
one in
this
the
to
middle,
line.
that's top three. No, Brady goes middle as well.
Can he dodge the POW though? Ooh, does that give him the
Oh,
edge? It does. Wow.
that's the one time that missing the low trick will benefit you. That's very well played at the end. Top three.
Yeah, really strong start for England. I mean, they held their top spots, which we have not seen yet. I think is Xander hosting the room? Actually, I missed it. I should have been paying attention to that. But whoever it was held first the entire time, starting with the trail on Frozen out of the cannon and just driving well enough to not give any room for US North to overtake there.
And you wonder that beginning strategy being different. Last time around, when second hopped in cut, even though he didn't use golden, they were in top three right after the Wiggler section. This time around, it was England in top three, even though they were the team picking it both times. I don't imagine it had to do necessarily anything with that. I had a bit of a internal information about how the beginning of that race played, and had mostly to do with just like top spots playing it better on USA side. It was a little risky when Frozen. Well, he's going to do that, but when he followed first, like right by his trail, and he does indeed get trailed. No
Right.
pun intended. And
I
that
think-
kind of like ruined everything at the start.
Yeah, I think also Murrah and Ops getting hit by that green was maybe more impactful than we thought because Murrah was the one who chained the star at the first set in a bottom spot and maybe had some catch-up potential there that was lost because usually you would hope that your cut taker is either holding a dodge or shooting up to the front at some point during the first lap, and they did not have that. Here we go on Mountain though. Chance
Yeah,
for England to
definitely.
snowball.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the better tracks for top three. Some teams prefer to go BCWii. 2 days in the room. Maybe you want to keep that for another situation. But two of you are taking a hit right at the start. That's exactly
Yeah.
what you want to see if you're England.
And no boxes for them either, so gonna have to lose a little bit of time here to grab one.
Zach also falls a little bit behind, which is not necessarily that bad, especially since he nicks Frozen's item. And also, it is really good to have at least one person in the mid pack right out of cannon, because you can already pull the POW. And this is probably the strongest track for POW.
Yeah, double backs right away there from England, looking really good in top two. especially around those turns. That's the game plan always. Just put as many items on there. Even if you don't hit players behind you, it's pretty hard to drive that section fast if you have to dodge stuff. And Ops just barely surviving to keep this top 2. But it looks like they won't keep it for long. Frozen has pulled the blue on the other POV. So it's going to come down to Ops for a little while. Blue's going to be in the air now.
Yeah, appear any time now. There it is. And the POW chain. Ooh, that's massive.
Let's see how we can
A
handle
little
this.
earlier
Really
than I
bad
expected.
spot. He dealt with it well. He threw in an extra hop right before the POW hit to get a tighter angle, and that actually saved him a lot of time.
And to delay it a little bit.
Yeah.
It just got him a little bit right after the really bad spot. And but yeah, I would expect him to Frozen to use it, or USA in general, to call it when he was on cut. That's crazy.
Did you see the juggle they just pulled off?
That's
They
unbelievable.
made that.
That was pulled on the last set.
That never
not
lasted
usual.
until the cannon. That was amazing teamwork. And he gets another one, but this one is passable.
This one's not that bad.
He could pass it, and even if he gets
yeah.
hit, it's not that bad on these turns. Oh, he just gets taken out. But he's going for the bagger, and he can't get it.
Wait, the POW is not that bad. It depends on what he pulls here.
Yeah, Ops is going to keep first. So many other players here. He's going to maybe go for a bomb snipe, but it's so close.
England shock.
Shocked out. Let's see. Who's coming up? It's Zach from behind, shrooming up, going to take a bunch of spots at the end. Another strong race for England.
Doesn't push anyone off, but that's still as strong as you could have wished for England, especially after blue and POW chain. But then obviously the TCs are pretty unfortunate. As impressive as that was, that juggle. I don't think I've ever seen anybody like making it to cannon after getting a TC on last set.
When you pull a TC there, it's like you get the bridge, then it's over.
As impressive as that was, those were 2 pretty unfortunate pulls.
Yeah,
and the shock was just always going to be more powerful than blue plus POW in that situation. Again, I am a little skeptical of that POW call. Usually when I'm playing and somebody calls POW to T-POW the top spot on the turn rather than on cut, I always get a little pissed at that. I wonder if there was any reason for... we didn't know the exact spots behind Ops anymore after the blue, because he never looked back since he got into first, but I do wonder if they could have done a little more with a POW.
Yeah, probably a little early there too. You would usually expect the POW to come on the cut for the first place taker, but I guess the reason you don't do that is because it gets the people behind on the turn, so if that's your own team, you still lose time, but I don't know, I think the chance to POW somebody off or into the fence is always really good, and to be fair, Ops did handle it very well.
That's true. But that is the only explanation I can think of. Maybe after the blue, USA were 2-3, and if they called it if they got Ops on cut, that would have meant that their 2-3 would have been on the turn and T-POW'd as well.
Yeah, the takeaway for England though is that they did their job very well. They had the good back spams. They were opportunistic at the start, and they kept their top spots and drove well, and that's what they got to be doing. Now they've earned themselves another 40-point lead, just like match 1.
Another snowball opportunity with the MKWC track pick. And you do wonder, if Rosen keeps his top spot, does he make... No!
Oh no!
I don't think he therefore did not meant to throw that forward. That could be a massive swing.
Tragic.
And Rosen has a TC, so he won't be taking glitch. He won't be the first glitch taker anyway. Murray isn't first, so I wonder if he's going to do what I thought Rosen was going to do. Take it and block it at the same time. Did he even?
I believe so. No, somehow
the daisies are in the back. They're
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Back.
Maybe Zach stopped him somehow because he was over there pretty quick. I wasn't expecting him to come out of the other path and be so close to Frozen, but who knows? Maybe he had some kind of big impact over there, but I guess we'll never really know for sure. Either way, England 2-3-4 with Ops holding a dodge. Pretty good spot for them.
And on our other POV, we see Frozen's holding blue, so they will not be... USA North will not be losing first anytime soon unless there's a glitch taker Target pow. Let's see if the glitch is blocked. One banana on it. And the shock. Therefore, USA shock. Ops
Yeah,
drops the
interesting.
star.
I didn't see anyone dodge on the map. I mean, that's one of those classic US North two-shock race tries, I guess. And Murray wasn't even able to take cut off of that.
Ooh,
Frozen
big
pulls the blue
pow.
once again and keeps it on the stairs. A little unfortunate, kind of, because if he had like reds or a bomb here, he'd be able to hit at least like 2 England players. He's in a perfect slagging spot with nothing to slag with. Fresh is going to drop
Blue
out
play.
of first, though. They make the play, but oh no!
I mean, I wonder if that was. Do you think that was worth it? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Rosen in the mega.
With so many
England
England
top 3.
players there, you can only hit one of them with the blue. It looks like it just really wasn't worth it. Rosen's going to be going for glitch, or at least blocking it. He doesn't even really need to take it at this point, if it is open.
Ooh.
Xander gets hit by a rogue, like, ground shell.
Okay. That's
and
funny.
He's just dodging the last blue.
I mean, you wonder if that was intentional. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, but it could have been.
Shock coming in. He's going to leave that shroom there. That's a death shroom. Don't even mind that one. And England are going to gain more spots off of this, though. I think. Top 2, maybe top 3. It's super close.
It was very close for third place.
Bottom 3 for
Definitely
USA.
another USA shock. It wasn't as impactful as they would have hoped for. They get Xander past the ramp. I'm not sure if the TS landed, but it doesn't seem they had any dodger. They pulled anything out of those last set boxes. England just kept that top 3. And
yeah, I'm kind of at a loss for words after that one. I feel like USA, in multiple instances, really fumbled that one. They had a lot of the resources. Yeah.
You wonder if that was a USA shock at the end. I mean, did Xander get himself on the boost pad? That's pretty ballsy. If that it can't be. It can't be.
I don't know.
Surely.
Well, either way, the first one was a USA shock, right? And that didn't seem to
Most
really help them. And they had blue, they had first, and then they decided to make a play, and then they didn't have either of those things afterwards. It was just nothing panned out the way they wanted it to. Probably tried to do too much with both of those items. And it really came back to bite them.
And we were wondering, after that match 1 loss, what England needed to do to do better and start winning. And after 3 races, England have a 65 points lead, which would be pretty astonishing if that was after 12 races, let alone after 3. And you do wonder if they are doing anything different, or if to me it just feels like it's been more of USA North's fault than England doing anything that's that much better right now.
Yeah, for how much praise we were giving US North for, they're the favorite lineup and they're good individually, it does seem like they are really shooting themselves in the foot more so than England stepping up. I mean, it's probably a little bit of both, but yeah, it's some pretty noticeable flubs. Still a lot of time. I mean, this match is far from over based on how the last one went.
Yeah, we've seen much larger comebacks in this. So, as you said, plenty of time for USA. And already quite a few spot exchanges at the beginning, which you do expect on Sherbaland. As I've been calling it Sherby for so long that it comes up natural. Already a blue show. It's Rosen.
Yeah, we've seen a ton of those so far. Both baggers got hit lap 1. We'll see who's in 10. It is Ethan. So USA more likely to pull it at this point.
Frozen pulled away so far from where the guy that got blued when he got hit that you wonder if he shroomed away and... No, was he holding anything? No, he stopped for blue.
Another blue came out. I think Frozen might have gotten a comm from a teammate to slow down there and dipped out, and it looks like an England player actually got caught by that. England's got to be more aware that he's going to make a play like that if they're going to throw blue. Ops would have been in a really good spot if he was able to keep his shroom in 1, but since Frozen was unscathed, he had to burn the shroom, and now they're playing out the 1v1.
Ooh, that was close.
Yeah, definitely spooky. Green caught his trail. That was a little dangerous, but Looks like they're both fine. He's
Oh,
gonna get
that's
sucked off.
unlucky.
Yikes.
How often do you see that?
Really bad build job for Brody, and he's getting blued immediately. Nobody's profiting off of that somehow, and Ops is back in first. But Frozen pulled
Frozen
triple
does.
shrooms. How did he pull triple shrooms? He was in second. He must have got past and just barely got a fourth place box and hit the jackpot.
Ooh.
Is there another blue? What's going on? This is unreal.
And it hits Ops.
A
That
double
could be
stop
massive
play
for
from
the
US. That's such a good play at that
hits
moment,
the
but he
wall.
hits the wall. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Xander getting hit. Xander getting hit again. Frozen breaking the red. USA top 3.
Vega coming up. He could get second even if it lasts long enough.
Maybe
Frozen
he should go
shrooms
for
up.
it. I think
Brody
he got
goes for the
second.
trail. I think he loses his spot from that.
Yeah, either he went for the trail or thought the Mega was going to last longer and tried to hop out of the way. England salvaged it. What a weird race.
That's as hectic as you're ever gonna get. That's like that. There was too much happening on the screen for us to keep up with, let alone commentate. That was unbelievable. There was like 4 blue shells, and on every single one of them, the guy in first like slowed down. And sometimes it wasn't even only the guy in first. It was multiple people slowing down, and snipes and people hitting the wall, and Bill dodges blues coming right after that. But in short, USA top 2-4. So that's a start for a comeback. They got the shot they needed. It didn't look like it was going to be as impactful as it ended up being. I feel like Frozen getting triple shrooms right after the shot was more impactful than Brody's build dodge. Well, mostly because of the blue, but he was going to have a bad drop regardless. But those triple shrooms, they were big. And then the play, because he got into first with a shroom still, and he decided to chain it, and there was a blue right after. But then the play from both Frozen and Mur, and that's where the however many seasons they play together come into play. Because if that's any 2 players with however good you would hope for them to be, that's not a normal play to make. Having both people stop to the millisecond for blue.
Yeah, so much chem and so much trust, right? Because if you stop, you have to have faith that your teammate's going to stop too. Otherwise, they're going to get blued and you look like a moron.
Now USA get the snowball pick.
Yeah, it's their turn now. They're bringing it back just a little bit. I mean, it's only one race, but signs of life early on.
Multiple people getting hit from both teams. It looks like one of England managed to shroom up, potentially even into first, Xander.
Testing. It's going to be close up there. We'll see how that shakes out later.
Not the worst TC pull, but he doesn't manage to pass it off, and somebody else gets red.
Oh, he does somehow. I
Meanwhile.
thought
He does now, yeah. That's unlucky. Ops did everything he could have to avoid it there.
I feel like he played it well,
screen,
just got stuck anyway. So we'll see. Really important what spot Xander ended up being in. If he's in second, that's kind of a rough position, but if he's in first, England are going to be okay.
Bill and 8th for Ops. We need to be careful about the baggers now. The bagger in 10th stopped. You wonder the reason. He's going backwards now. I'm looking at the mini-map. And it's Krusty in 10th. So you would think he has the shot. And there it is.
An early
Frozen
shot
dodges
USA.
in 3rd.
He's going for the hit on Xander. I think he had that star in 4th, but he held it for a while up to that point. And I think Xander went up for a box on the left to avoid a combo, which may allow him to hold second. That's actually a pretty smart move there. But Frozen's going to run away with this race for sure.
And 3 for 5. Ops trying to break that. This pull's going to be massive. He misses it. And that one as well gets stolen. And triple reds, yeah. That will be bottom 3 for England. Nothing's going to save that. The power prevents Frozen from making any play at the end. And yeah, that's just 1 for 5 to yes. Second race in a row that they win by a size that they will be happy with.
Yeah, that TC was a massive swing, I gotta say. If that US North player gets TC'd instead, England would have had so much more control of the front with extra shrooms. They could have just slagged to the point where maybe Frozen still wins off the star, but US North would not have had nearly as much control over the rest of the spots.
Yeah, Xander and Ops would have been still in 2-3, and potentially they would have had more resources to try and hit USA mid spots. But Xander being on his own, he just kind of like needs to survive that situation when he's just surrounded by... well, he's not even surrounded. He has 3 of USA members right behind him who could potentially have POWs, bombs, and first place is impossible to reach. So being only second instead of 2-3 did make a massive difference right there.
Mm-hmm. And to be fair, Xander did do his job well, and which he has been for the most part, but it takes a village, right? The whole team's got to be doing their job making plays, otherwise this lead might slip through their fingers once more.
Interesting track pick for US North, Movie Highway. You see most teams picking that for when they have, and it gets picked. So we'll see. This is interesting. As I was saying, most teams pick that when they have a bottom spot as well, because the golden at the beginning is incredibly powerful. So I wonder if their lowest spot is gonna drop a little bit, or if they're gonna opt to try and take every single box, so that England will be having a great view of this on Ops' POV. He doesn't even go for a white box.
Yeah, we'll see. US North dominated on this track last time, and an early Mega coming out is such a great pull for Mura, just to try to gatekeep everyone behind those top 2. But
as well, though. I don't know if that worked, you know?
Yeah, well, someone on England pulled a star, which, for those of you keeping score at home, stars usually beat Megas, from my experience. That's kind of how it goes. So England actually doing all right. I think maybe one USA member held first. But other than that, not as good of a start as USA would have hoped.
But that's what I meant with Moonview being picked when you also have bottom spot as well, because they got a Mega, and that was basically as good as it was ever going to get for them in 1, 3, 4, 5 boxes. Their lowest spot pulling a Mega and trying to schlag, and it did hit one person. But obviously, if he misses one, they're going to be in a golden and potentially get into first, or they're going to be in a star and he's going to get hit out. So that's kind of what happened there. And we haven't managed to get a proper view of the top spots yet.
It's a lot of US in the back when they're having TC problems too. I think there's one US player potentially still in first.
In first, yes.
Like it. And Frozen will be able to interact with these players at least. After another set or two, has to go wide, barely doesn't get hit by the truck.
Brody gets hit
actually.
Out, top 3 England.
He's gone. Another TC, and there's just no way to pass this here on the boost panels. Super unfortunate, the third one.
Gives it to Krusty.
Yeah, Ethan's
and a
there
blue
in
shot
a
coming.
Blue.
I imagine England has a shot. You wonder if they're cancelling this.
They decide not to. Is he on the boost? He might be able to keep his spot. Huge shrooms for Frozen. Can he pass at the end?
He does, and he pushes him into the wall, and he gets blue before the line because of that, I think. That's what it looked like. I think Frozen dropped a lot of spots because of that. I didn't think that was going to work.
Yeah, maybe a race-saving triple shrooms pull there. And you wonder if maybe England had shock and they decided not to cancel. That might have not been the best call. I mean, it's reasonable to think that someone on USA could have a dodge there, and you don't want them to dodge and get first. But
I got distracted right after everybody crossed. There wasn't a shock right after the race, was there?
I think there was. But yeah, I was looking at Rosen, and he did lose a couple spots. I think he got bumped into the wall at the end.
I'm not sure if the blue caught him before the line, but he definitely got pushed.
Yeah, what would have been a huge race for England, like a top 3, ended up only being a 1-4-5.
And you wonder if, well, first of all, if they did have shock. And if they did, it definitely looks like they should have called that.
Yeah, I mean, Zach maybe thought that he could get blued on the boost and keep his spot, and he ended up getting passed by 2 people. But I think even if you get the top 2-5 secure, that's that's something to be happy about, and then it's probably worth just playing it safe. But yeah, the triple shrooms from Frozen was just such a huge, unexpected factor in how that race finished.
But let's not forget that was clutch from Krusty as well. The positioning, the awareness, to be in the middle of the pack when your teammates are all mid spots to potentially get a TC from one of your teammates, and in that race, it ended up mattering far more than we anticipated, than anybody would have anticipated.
That's true. It did gain them a lot of points, and yeah, the positioning to take it off Frozen without him really having to go out of his way. If he loses more time there, he can't catch Frozen at the end. So definitely a huge swing, and that's important. You always want to see the bagger making an impact outside of just pulling the shock.
We saw a bomb. You usually see it on the thumb section right here. It's basically a guaranteed hit. It was a very early throw. I imagine it must have been from an England member because it would have been risky to throw any later. But
yeah, tough
it
spot
didn't
for
hit
Frozen
anyone.
here. England in top 3. They had more shrooms as well. Perfect item here for Ops, but he gets taken out. Brody shroomed him off at the perfect time, but did get hit too. And this TC is just going to keep everyone back here. Even if Rosen gets hit, it's still pretty good to help England's top spots break away.
If you're, we see. Okay, I was gonna mention, if you're England right now, you really like these positions, except that the US North have many positions to pull the blue, but we see that Ops just pulled it in 7th, so they will not have to worry about that.
TC 3rd for Brody with no one to pass it to. That is so unfortunate. He was the only one with even a chance to get up there.
And yeah, you're not escaping that.
And now there's 50 items on that turn as usual, and Frozen's out of the race. England pretty much have top 2 locked down, I would say. Unless there's a big shock and like a high mid-spot dodge from US North. Actually, Murrah kind of got up there, if that is Murrah.
Frozen goes for the star on Jazz and he hits him, so now Krusty has a bit of a leeway in 10th. He could potentially lose the bill, and he does, yes. No? Yeah, he does. Okay, cool. It looked a little strange on the minimap. And still keep 10th. But if you do look at the minimap, Jazz is not making any progression backwards. He is now, but you wonder if he
Frozen
could
will go
have
for
pulled the
him.
Sugar 9. Another TC for US. Murrah has a dodge.
Or maybe give it to the bagger. Yeah, it looks like they passed it off, but still losing some time there. Again, the top 2 from England is secured with the blue, really far ahead. It's just going to be a battle for the mid spots for the most part. I don't think there's any way Fresh can break into that top 2. Unless he's somehow been holding a Mega for a while, which doesn't seem like it's the case.
I feel like they have to aim to just salvage and get all mids.
Yeah, which they might be able to do. I mean, Ops has been holding blue for the longest time, so he should have worse items than everyone else. Here's the English shock, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the triple shrooms is going to secure him at least 1 or 2 more spots gained. Just a
Top
solid
2-5.
top 2-5. I think Rosen in last, yeah. So decent from England. I mean, it was hard to do much more than that when one player was holding the blue and Rosen was getting hit constantly, it felt like. But it's a solid win for them, which they kind of needed after US North was starting to, pull off some plays and build some momentum.
That's all you need, really, with 5 races left after this. Just a small win, just to gain a little confidence, just to stop. It just the psychological effect of seeing your massive lead shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, and now is you have a little more breathing room again. And the beginning was crucial there. Usually, many people say that it's really important to play well with the drafts at the beginning of RBC, and it's true. But then sometimes the other team just pulls triple reds or the bomb, and it didn't matter. This time around, I'm pretty sure it was England to pull the bomb, and even though they didn't use it to its best use, they still managed to keep that top 2, and nothing ever happened to them ever since. There were a couple unfortunate TC pulls, but it was very good to obviously blocked one of the easiest tracks to hit someone with in the game, the turn before the bridge, because their teammates were in bottom 2, so even if they put a lot of backspam, it was going to be cleared by when they were passing by. So that was very good from them, and ever since they got to that lead, US North could never catch them again.
Yeah, so back to around a 40-point deficit, pretty similar to what we saw in match 1 at this stage, although it does feel like England have been playing better overall, like, comparatively to US North at this point. But we'll see. This is a really volatile track.
Mega, very good pull at the beginning. I don't think he hit anyone, Mura. Cut some
Yes.
blocks.
So
Lai's going to play a big factor. Ops
And-
loses from that.
Yeah, he got bumped into a line where it was still makeable, but it was harder, and he didn't end up making it. Zach went for Ultra in first, and now he's off here.
That's
Must have gotten, like,
USA
screwed
top
off or
36,
something.
I think.
Yeah, US
Yeah, that's-
North all did really well on that first lap.
Blue is in the air. It's not dodged. They were not holding any shrooms in the top spots.
I think there was a POW from Xander, which is pretty good for him when you're surrounded by opposing players if you just get everyone's items out of them. Top 4 for USA, just barely, really close together. I was going to
big
say,
shot, big
it's not
shot.
as good as it seems, because if there's a shock, then the cut's going to be wide open. All the England players are going to have shrooms and stuff. We'll see. There goes Zach. Xander's lining up for it. Somebody's off. I don't know how many of them actually made it.
Rosen's in first. There was a bit of a miscommunication. All 4 of them went for either shroom cut or shroomless, and not a single one of them went for ultra. So Ops looked like he was going to go for ultra, but then he bailed out last second because he thought Rosen was going to go for it. But then Rosen didn't, and it was all 4 of them on the regular cut. So
Yes,
Ops is just going around with his star.
Somehow Zach and Xander both didn't make it. I don't know if they bumped each other off or there was somebody else in the way. I mean, there was so much chaos happening with pretty much every player in that spot at the same time. So only 1-4, but still a star for Ops. If they have shock again,
Krusty seems to be in 10th,
they would use
and
it around
Jazz
here.
just hopped off the track. Yeah, he's expecting USA to have it. He
Oh,
was
there's a
waiting for
blue,
the
so they're going to be
PS.
stopping. This is going to get really interesting.
Oh, Frozen's a lap behind, okay.
Although somehow Rosen got hit out. I don't know. Is he getting a spot off the blue again? There's another blue. Fresh is getting comboed on the last straight. That blue does not connect. It's
2-3.
just 2-3. What in the world? It looked like there was going to be like a massive like stopping fest between those top 2 players when that blue was thrown because they had so much time to prepare for it. But I think Rosen just got hit out. And it ended
Either
up being
that-
pretty neutral.
Or he stopped. No, there's no way. Well, maybe there is, but
Maybe he stopped to let them both go. I'm not really sure.
I guess. 2-3-5 though. That's another good enough race if you're England.
Yeah, they're top 4 overall, but they're really not that far ahead. Kind of odd.
14-point lead. Was there a penalty?
Oh, there must have been. We'll see.
Oh, never mind. There you go. That's the score updated. I did think it looked a little strange.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So 44 points, and really a missed opportunity for a much bigger race there, with 2 England players either sabotaging each other or just getting bumped, or maybe just missing. You know, that's a possibility too. After that shock lap too.
If you're ups there, even if the communication there isn't the cleanest, when you're the lowest spot and you're holding a star, so not shrooms, you need to go for ultra. There was a fib in the way, but you need to take ultra. He just ended up having to go around, even though there was nobody sitting on ultra potentially griefing him, and he was never going to take shroom cut quick enough to, because he didn't have shrooms, obviously. So he just ended up going around that he could have had first if he, or, you know, England could have had top 2
Right.
if he kept his star in a top spot.
Missed opportunity there for sure. We'll see. Frozen getting an early triple shrooms to get up there, but Xander in the Mega actually hits him before the cannon.
That's the one item that could have countered that. Red's behind him and Mega.
Frozen going to play the 8th place game here, which usually when two people sit for 8th, it benefits whoever is in the front, just because it kind of spreads out the pack. So I'm surprised England didn't stop more, but maybe he already has a dodge? No, he doesn't. Rosen's just going to go down there. And Op's getting hit as well. So England, they've got 1-3. Gonna go for a pass.
On to Seaman, I guess, but England, Zach gets hit.
Xander is gone. I don't know what happened to him. Something on that turn went down. And it's Brody to take over. Multiple players slowing down. Maybe a shock in play already?
That was confusing.
I don't know. And Frozen's deciding to drop back here. This is also an interesting call.
I don't know if anybody even has. It felt like... Okay, that's the answer. England didn't have. Okay, if anybody had, I did think it was England, because Frozen stops first. And then they tried to stop behind him, but it didn't work out. Anyway.
Two England players dodged there, I think, in Megas. They didn't use anything, so maybe they have shrooms. There's one player, I guess, shrooming ahead, and a blue comes in, which will be dodged.
Yeah,
so I guess a triple shroom chain there, which is really ideal if you're going to be broken away in first. But Rosen didn't actually make out super well after that, so he's still in the pack.
Massive pull.
Getting hit there is not good,
banana. Depends on the
was
shock, really.
Definitely called. Yeah, if they have shock, then he might just get second anyway, and it won't matter.
Yeah, there you go. Gets Frozen behind and past boxes as well.
Yeah, USA players kind of stranded. Pretty unlikely that they'll get good enough items to reach the top 2 spots.
Okay.
Oh, gets away with that. The big air.
That's well played, yeah.
Really helped him out. Yeah, nicely done. Pretty good race for England. I think USA got like 6-8 in the back. So another solid, like double-digit race win for England. And only a few races to go. It's still looking like they're going to hold on to this one.
I'm pretty sure Rosen lost some spots on the line because he was third and then he lost spots to Fresh because I think he tried to slow down to Redden or something like that, but it didn't hit. And obviously, USA had 5-6 into boxing. You expect him, at least one of them, to pull shrooms. But he doesn't. He only loses to Fresh. He did keep fourth. Maybe he had... No, he did. Or he must have only had a red. So I guess USA were either too far behind or didn't pull great items to beat Rosen.
Yeah. Impressive stuff from England. I mean, they did a lot of what they needed to do, and US North so far have not been able to keep up that level that they were playing at when they were bringing it back match 1. And unless something crazy happens, it's going to be tied 1-1. And there's still a few races to go, but they're at a point now where it's almost impossible for this comeback.
And those 3 races at the beginning are obviously making a massive impact because you could argue that race was simply down to England pulling 2 shots. But 61-point deficit right now. It's basically just as much as the first 3 races were. With England winning the first 3 races, even though they didn't have that many shocks. I'm pretty sure race 1 was shockless, then race 2 England had it, and then race 3 on MKWC USA had 2. So that's basically what's making a difference right now. Those 3 races at the beginning where USA have not played to their standard, and it cost them massively, really, way more than anybody would have expected.
Yeah, England going to try to tap this in with a Toad's Factory pick, playing it by the book. Xander holding down first. Brody probably itemless up there. But Frozen pulls the shrooms to get into the front. That's a golden. Get all the way into first.
Oh.
Ops staying in the line. Going to get hit. This is something I was saying match 1 about, like whether or not you go for Bill. I don't know what spot Frozen started in that race. I think he was in the way back after Parkway. But since he didn't go for Bill, that's one more player that has a chance to shroom into the front. And it did work out. Oh no,
Oh,
really tough
you don't see
mistake
that too
there.
often.
Yeah, rare miss. They should be okay just because they have such a big cushion, but USA are in a very dominant spot right now. Top two completely gone.
That thing was scary. You never know where you're gonna go with the power happening there with the
Right.
conveyors.
Yeah, USA's goal, I guess, is just to pull a shroom in second and get that shroom into first just to secure the top two. And in the meantime, try to hit people. But I think Fresh is up there in third as
Yeah, top
well.
three.
So I mean, they could still be in it if this race goes their way, which right now is looking like it will.
Murray the Daisy in seventh right now. Maybe if he gets a dodge and he just holds it at the end of the race, you could and USA gets shocked. Obviously, there's many ifs, but that could be something nearing a top four for US North.
Yeah, we'll see. You would expect that maybe the England bagger would have been going for it already, but neither bagger has gone forward past the set. One of them has gone back, likely with Bill. Oh. Star's going to come out at the end.
Fresh in eighth though.
Yeah, not a absolutely massive race for US North, but still strong. And they're still going to be in it, which is big.
We didn't get a very good look at it, but from the mini map, it looked like when Fresh was third, he was focusing. Obviously, he has to deal with four of them, and they're gonna pull better items there, and so that's not easy. But it looked like he was focusing more on giving top two a break and maybe help Murray catch from eighth, then keep in third place. So when Frozen hit the wall in Red Room in second, he backed three greens, hit Rosen, but it was just a complete mess in the Red Room, and Fresh might have died from that. And with the numbers we're talking about now, would USA need an even bigger race than that? They need at least Fresh to keep like at least fourth. Yeah, 46 points. It's not quite two top fours, but it's two top threes at least, and some mid spots, or maybe some penalties. It could be like some new strat, you know. Pick the track where it's easy to to farm a little penalty. It doesn't seem to be the case though. DK Summit, and it picks them.
If I'm England, I would be avoiding Koopa Cape at this point. I feel like it's a track that's really hard to like gain an edge by outplaying from a running standpoint. And if Ethan's going to be hitting the backward strat, like the wall clip on the first try, I would just avoid it. I wouldn't even risk that. I don't know if that's something they've taken into account. Maybe they're thinking, oh, there's no way he'll make it twice, but...
And even the penalty discos, if that's what you're going for, you'd expect US North to pick it, not with esports, obviously, but it is one of the tracks where it's very easy to get very silly pens.
Yeah, baggers have to be very careful around the pipe section. A lot of people getting hit right away. US North did start this race in top two, so with a lot of people getting hit behind, there's a chance that they're still up there. We'll see who survived in the front.
Xander loses a lot of time having to avoid that red.
Yeah, gonna be probably top three for US North after this golden, so...
that's unlucky.
So bad. He lost so much time. Unlucky.
That could have been
still good.
Top 3-5 or almost top 4.
I mean, England in bottom 3. They gotta.
You could argue that this is better because now you have Frozen in the Schlagen spot, and he's better at that than Murray. But do you want to Schlag at this stage? You need to go for the top 4. Well, he's gonna be forced to Schlag with a TC, and it doesn't pass. So gonna have to play the dodge game now.
Yeah, Zach getting hit. Still really good spots in the front for North.
One of the baggers just made the strat. I'm curious as to why it took so long. I don't think they made it twice. And it's crusty. So let's see.
Yeah, but no shock in play. They all seem to know it. Nobody really slowing down in the can. Oh no,
yeah, it's because England are in 9th. That's
England just pulled it there. US was not ready for that.
I assume it must have been in 9th, or maybe he pulled an intent at the very beginning. You never know. But
Yeah,
that
you
should
could
seal the war
tell.
unless massive fails.
You could tell that USA was not banking on England having it there. They didn't try to counter it at all with any dodges or slowdowns, and this star is going to seal it. Top 3 for England, as long as they don't hit each other or fail massively. They're going to put this match to bed, and we're going to be tied up 1-1 here in this finals. That is a huge turnaround for England from what we saw in match 1. Morale for England got to be pretty good right now. We were talking about how, maybe Rosen and Ops didn't have a great match 1, but they're both performing at least individually way better than what we've seen. And US North showing some fall off, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I mean, again, look at the deficit. It's basically the first 3 races. The rest of it, despite, I want to say that even from race 4 onwards, England pulled the most of the shots. They still managed to have it basically level, but it's just that obviously 3 races is a lot. You can't really say, oh, but if we played those 3 races better, that's a fourth of the war. That's quite a lot. But yeah, it goes back to what we were saying before match 2 started. What does England need to do? Is it even up to them? Is what we can take from this war, or is it just US North's own arch nemesis is going to be themselves? Because again,
sure.
it's just really what it was. The deficit is the exact same as it was after 3 races. And you maybe they need to calm down with each other. It was their main strong point. Maybe not the main strong point, but it was what made them differ from basically any team that we've ever seen. Is how, at least in the World Cup stage, how often they went for those early shots, and it. When I think back of BCWE, that just didn't end up working. Sometimes you just get too fixated on one strategy, and you end up going for it even in a stage where it's not worth it.
Yeah, hard to say what needs to change. I don't know. I think that's probably what they're talking about right now, I would assume. I mean, they are playing out. They decided not to forfeit. But this is a team of winners. Like, they'll find a way. There's no way that they will be unable to raise their level for these next few matches, and we're pretty much reset here to now just a standard best of 3 from this point, if you think about it like that.
Yeah, calm 2 little warm-up wars.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the
this doesn't
biggest
matter too
loss.
much, but it is technically still an
Right, I guess it's still
official race.
possible.
No,
If,
well, no. No, it's
if
just,
Jazz
I don't know.
if Jazz bills through the pack and hits 2 people and gets a -40 on stadium, which no bagger has probably ever done that before, so
No,
I
not for
wonder.
the win, but as England kept on playing on race 12,
Those who
last time
know,
around, it does, yeah.
it's happened probably once exactly. But anyway, yeah, I mean, this is a spot that US North haven't been in really. I mean, they've been tied in a series before, but they've never gotten like beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've lost close ones, but they got kind of smacked around for most of this. They started out way behind, and England was able to keep it at least even for the rest of the match, and just kind of do a lot of the things they needed to do in the first match. So it's gonna be a balls back in US court, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Another take from these first 2 wars is that, as Zesty also said, I would have expected Crusty to be the favorite in this match. Jazz doing a lot better than I was anticipating, and obviously bagging his luck based and everything. But it's been 24 races already.
Yeah, I mean, I put stock in Jazz, maybe not based on recent events, but I would never doubt this guy's ability to perform. Either way, that's 2 matches down. I think we are gonna have maybe a restart on the stream. We'll see how it goes. We've got some technical things to shift around, but either way, it'll be a short intermission between match 2 and 3. So we'll come back soon with the set score 1-1. Still anyone's game here in the Mario Kart Wii World Cup.